Right, it's advanced tips and tricks, workflow, speed up your day stuff. There's lots in this whole section on workflow, but this particular one is lots of the little bitsy things that don't deserve their own video. They all get lumped together in this one. There's some good stuff though. All right, first thing we'll do is File, New, and you can do math in any of these fields. Let's say I want to go to print and I use the A sizes because I'm in Europe and I want A2, but they don't have it as a preset for some reason. So I know A3. And if I go to centimeters, I can times it by 2. And all I do is put an asterisk 2 and click in here and it times it by 2. That gives me A2. Okay, times it again and I can get A1 and then AO. Cool, you can do math in any of the fields. You can divide by typing a / and then 2. Okay, that'll do that. You can add 2 inches by typing it in. If you're the other way around, you can add centimeters to your imperial measurements and it will do all the math in any field in Illustrator, not just the new document. The reason we did it here though is I want to save it as a template. So that's what I want. I'm going to have my template be RGB as well, and I'm going to click create. Cool, once you've got this document, you're like, I don't have to do that again. I go to File, there's Save As Template. It's another little trick. I'm going to put it in with my blank templates, and this is going to be called my what did I get up to? I think it's A2. Hit save. Okay, now when I'm making a new document, it's not in that window we just saw. Okay, not perfect. Okay, but you go to File, New from Template, and there's that list again. And I can say, you guys, let's get going. Awesome. So it's picked the right sizes, it's picked RGB, and we learned how to do math. And we learn how to do math in the fields. So next thing I want to do is finding stuff in help. Okay, so this is a Mac only, sorry PC people. So there's lots of times you're like, hey, where's that filter thing that Dan talked about? I remember it was called halftone something or other. Okay, so I've got this and I go to help and I just type in half. Okay, and the cool thing about it is that Macs go, do you mean these two? You're like, yeah, I do. And if you hover above it, it even points to it with a big blue arrow. Okay, and you can come down. Actually, you can actually just click on it here, or you can sneakily come down and just click on it. Okay, and I've got my awesome halftone. It's probably making your screen go crazy on the video. That's all right. All right, next thing we're going to do is cleaning up paths. So I'm going to go out to this document I've got ready. Now, there are times where if I go to Command Y or Control Y on a PC, there's a star there and a star there, but look, when I switch it back, they've got no fill, no strike. I want to get rid of them. There's a couple of other things. That there is a text box that has no text in it. That there is, I've used the pen tool, I've clicked once, forgotten what I was doing and left it there. So if you want to clean up these things, you can go to Object, you can go to Path, and there's one that says Clean Up. And it goes through and asks you what you want to do. I'm going to do, yep, all of those sound good. Click OK. And now if I go to Command Y, the stars are gone, all the random dots are gone. It's just good for pre-press, it is cleaning everything up. Especially good when you've kind of like compound shapes and clipping mask, and you've kind of unpicked all of that. And you can clean it all up using that trick. Another thing that happens is gradients. Gradients are awesome. They're back in fashion. Wow, they are in my head anyway. But often they end up banding when they go to print, okay? Often digitally is fine. Okay, but they can band badly when they go to print. There's a couple of ways of doing it, right? So I've got this gradient selected here. I can go to Object. I can go to this one that says Rasterize. Basically what it's going to do is turn it from this lovely scalable vector thing to a raster image, okay? Basically like a Photoshop document. Set the resolution to the PPI, the pixel per inch you want. Okay, if you want it to be really good quality, just leave it at 300. Click OK, and this thing now is, it looks the same. Okay, except that it is made up of little pixels. I can zoom in as much as I like and it doesn't really show up because it's so dense, but trust me, it's now pixels and not vector, and it has the tendency to print better if you're running into problems. If you're not having problems, don't do that. Another thing you can do though, if you're running into, say you've got lots of kind of banding gradient problems, especially with say a gradient mesh, instead of rasterizing it, you can go to File, and during the printing process, there's an option in here under Graphics, and you can just say compatible gradients mesh printing. Okay, it gives you a bit of a warning. And when you hit print now, it'll do the same thing, okay, but it will just kind of go through and do it on the way through. All right, gradients. Next thing I'll show you, quick little shortcut, is if I delete this thing here, sometimes you're working, you're like, what is white and what is see-through? Is that white or is that see-through? There's text in here somewhere. Command Shift D is the shortcut. okay, it just shows you your transparency grid. Okay, it looks like Photoshop. And at least now you can see that that's a hole and that's actually white text. Okay, that's white and not a hole. Okay, so it's just really handy sometimes when you're maybe using the shape builder tool or the Pathfinder. Okay, and you're just working out who's white and who's blank. Anyway, that is a nice one. Another one is select similar. Let's say that we've got all these stars, right? And we want to change the color of them. And I'm going to click this one. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to grab them all and go insane from clicking stars. Okay, there's not that many, but if I click on one and go to select same, and you can pick any of these, often parents just works, but anything that has the same fill color, right? And you can see it's gone through this document and just selected everything. And I can go, actually, I want to turn those to ugly pink or back to white. Okay, so that's an easy one. I find that's really useful if, say, this is a stock library icon set that I bought, okay? And let's say that I want to adjust the colors. So I'm going to click on one of these colors, say the white arrow, click on this green one. Okay, so I want to find everything. You can see how useful this is going to be. Everything that has that same fill color, and it goes through the whole document, even inside clipping masks and stuff. Okay, and you can go through and say, I'm picking a new color. Okay, and you see the whole document changes. Awesome. It could be stroke color. You could use appearance. Yeah, it's a really handy one. Maybe not so handy feature, but useful to know. Under select, I can go to object and there's a bunch of options in here. Like I can select everything that has a bristle brush stroke. Not sure why that's handy. The one that's probably handy is I can select everything that has a clipping mask. This one here, all text objects. Okay, I've only got two, but I imagine if you had a really long document or a big document with lots of text boxes, you just want to select them all, change the font, that could be an easy way to do it. Another little known feature is, say I do select all of these guys, right? And I either shift click them all and spend ages doing it, or we use our trick, click same fill color. Okay, unfortunately, white is the same as the rest of it. Anyway, so I've got all of this, including these guys down here. Okay, so I spent ages making that selection. What I can do is I can select it and save that selection. Okay, so I can go to save selection, give it a name, it's called stars. And the difference between that and say something like, if I grouped it now, okay, they would be kind of fused together. But what I can do is I can start adjusting these things and say, oh, you're over here now. And now, okay, I can go to select. I want to select on stars. Okay, and it grabs them all again. Cool, huh? Okay, next super shortcut is on the layers panel. It's just handy to know that if you click up here towards this, just in this area here, you select everything on that layer. It's just handy to go, everything on that layer, goodbye. Okay, yeah, just easy to select everything on the layer rather than maybe a select all that grabs everything. Also, thing about the layers is, let's say you're working down here. My Fox, it's pretty good contrast, right? If I'm looking on these anchor points here, the blue lines and the handles, they are pretty good and contrasty, right? Often though, I did it earlier in this tutorial where we were doing a gradient mesh, was on a kind of a blue color and these guys were blue. And it's just really hard to see them, right? So what you can do is you can actually just double click on the word. Okay, actually anywhere but the word is what I meant. And you can say, actually, I want this one to have bright green. Okay, and it means nothing's changed. It just means that it's a little bit easier sometimes to see these handles against the particular graphic you're using. A somewhat useless next feature down the bottom here, there's this thing. Okay, you can say, actually, I don't want it to show my name of my artboard. I want you to show the current tool that I'm using, direct selection tool. I want you to show me the date and time, but I want you to write it in a really cryptic way that makes it useless. Month 2. Anyway, number of undos. Okay, I feel like there should be some good stuff in here. Document color profile. Maybe that might be useful. Anyway, let's finish on a really good one. And this tool panel over here, okay, it's full of stuff that you never use. And after this advanced course, you'd be like, ooh, that's my new favorite. Okay, but say you get to a point where you're like, actually, just get rid of the stuff I don't want. So it's really handy to go to Window, go to Tools, and we're going to make a new Tools panel. Okay, I'm going to call this the Dan is Awesome Toolbar tool panel. Give it any name you like, and basically just gives you the core. Okay, that thing there. Everything else you drag on as you want. Let's say I do use the black arrow and the white arrow, even though I know the shortcuts. I don't use the lasso tool. I use the pen tool a lot. I use the curvature tool a lot. The type tool, awesome. I do, out of these guys, you can decide, actually I just want the line tool because I don't use the other junk. Yes, I'll use you, but I'm gonna keep this. You can skip on this video now. Well, actually, I'm gonna go and show, I'll do one more. Okay, I just want to build my own tool panel. I don't know why. Once you've finished it, right, you've got to do a couple of things. You don't want this guy anymore. So you've got everything out of there. So I'm just going to drag the top. It's that like tiny little gray bit you got to drag out. Close it down, grab this tiny gray bit, okay, dark gray bit, and kind of push it to the side, and it goes blue and we're in. Then you go to Window, Workspace, and if you haven't already, create a new workspace, give it a name. I've given mine a name called Dan. Actually, I want to save over the top of this, so I want to reset Dan. So a new workspace, I'm just going to call it Dan. It already exists. By clicking OK, it's going to override. Great. So now when I'm kind of opening up I'm working on layout for some reason, okay, I can go to Workspace, go to Dan, and it's back to this. And if I accidentally get everything mixed up and that drags out and this ends up popping out and everything goes wrong, I can go to Window, Workspace, Reset Dan. Everything went back except these guys. All right, so that is it for these kind of like little short, tasty workflow advanced things. There's a bunch more in this kind of section, so carry on with the videos. We'll do some more tricks. All right, next video.